and welcome to Brunch with Brian, your daily home investing live stream. Your time to use the law of attraction to stay positive and stay focused on your real estate success. So we don't talk about, in the beginning I used to talk a lot more about the law of attraction and how important that is, and staying positive and having a positive approach on your day. Smiling all the time, staying fit, all that stuff's so important. I teach a lot of real estate now, mostly, but I don't want you to forget those things, and that's why I still try to do our deep breathing and smiling. Today I'm going to talk about a couple of things. Today I wanted to talk about virtual investing, because we're doing a special session tonight with a group, and they're all about virtual investing. Look where you live, and look what you think the opportunities are in your area. Some areas are rife with opportunities. There's a lot of houses for sale, and they're reasonably priced. And some of us think, what? Where's that? That must be on a different planet. No, it's in different states is where it is. Okay, so you do have to find the deals, and it's a different world now. 2 years ago, virtual investing would not have been as practical, but now people are used to Zoom. Because of the pandemic, everybody got used to using Zoom and video chats to stay in touch with grandma and everybody else. So now people are doing business over video chats. It's a real common thing. So we do it all the time, and we call it our Deals at a Distance program. And that's super reasonably priced. If you do not have that and you want to get into doing deals at a distance, call the office, talk to Dashel or one of the people in the office. 888-RICH now. You can always call that number and talk to us anytime, or always send an email at support@thewolffcouple.com, because we just want to help you succeed. And one of the ways that you can succeed is not be trapped by geography. So, and I don't even mind it if you have your farm area locally that you produce some deals in, but also have another farm area at a distance. And most of us have another state. Sometimes it's a state you move from, or sometimes it's a state you want to move to. So if it's a state you want to move to, absolutely you should be. And here's the cool thing, guys. The things in the world that have changed the world are Zillow. It happened with Zillow. Zillow became the MLS for everybody. So Zillow changed the world. That was really the first thing. Before Zillow, I can barely remember what it was like before Zillow. It was so hard to find information on properties. Zillow's done all the research for you and packaged it up, and even has pictures and exactly how many days on market, and shows you when it was sold last and how much it was sold for. It gives you just so much information. So the biggest thing that changed the world, especially in terms of us being able to do virtual investing, is Zillow. You can basically look at a Zillow, just type in 3 or 4, type in the address and 3 or 4 letters of the street name, and it usually pops up. You can click on it. It's so easy to use. I sound like a Zillow shill here. I'm not. It's just that it's really a powerful tool. Now, one thing I don't like about Zillow is they got it in their head that they're buying houses now. So I hate that. I hate the fact they're out offering people money. But remember, with the Pretty House, the creative financing deals that we prefer, they're not looking to sell for some lowball offer to Zillow or some company like that. There's some big companies now, like Open Door, that offer people, and sometimes that price actually looks kind of good. But here's what you got to counsel your sellers. If they're saying, well, I like what you're saying, but Open Door offered me, not as much as you are offering me in terms of full price, but they're willing to do a cash deal. And then you say, well, wait a minute, you got to go through their whole process, because people don't know this if they haven't sold to one of these Zillow, Open Door style buyers. They will nickel and dime you to death. You think you sold your house for, wow, I sold it for $300,000. That's, full market value, and they just bought it and it was easy. Okay, until their person comes over and starts nitpicking everything and making huge repair lists. And if you don't want to repair everything, they're going to charge you blank, 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 and they're discounting it off the offer. And by the time they get through all the fees and all the crumb bum stuff, it's not what they said. So you can warn your people that, yeah, if you're thinking about that, I don't want to talk ill of another company, but there's a lot of fees involved and discounts because of repairs and that are going to be worked into this before you see a check. So don't get your eyes full of stars here. Stars in your eyes on that. So that's one way, that would be an objection answer to, I'm looking at this other company. Now, when you're doing these deals virtually, which now, so the two things that really changed in the world was Zillow and the pandemic. And Zillow making properties anywhere in the country available to you, all the information you need and pictures. That's a huge, I don't know how, otherwise you got to have boots on the ground taking pictures or else get an agent. But remember, agents do not cross state lines. You have to have license in every state you're an agent in. So an agent that locally can't just go into the Ohio MLS and start pulling up properties. So that's why, you might have an agent there locally, but with Zillow, you don't even need an agent anymore because you can get all the information you need, including the contact information, just from the Zillow. So Zillow made it possible for you to find all the information you need on properties, and the pandemic made people willing to sell and buy property and do a lot of business virtually, because nobody wanted to see anybody, and that became the norm for many months, I should say. But now we're kind of returning to normal. We went to a Suns game, and it was 16,000 people, and nobody was wearing masks, or very few people were wearing masks, and we're in there screaming. That was one of the funnest things, and what a sort of a release from the pandemic to go and have a fun time like that. So I really feel like, the world's sort of getting back to normal in that way, but people are still doing a lot of stuff on virtual. People are still selling their houses virtually. If they get the right offer, and if you tell them the right things and use the right scripts, guys, they're going to want to sell to you. And I don't care if they're in Texas or if they're in Washington State or Connecticut or where the heck they are. I don't care. Okay. Now, I will tell you that if you are living in an expensive area and you're looking for a more affordable area, then you're going to probably get towards the middle of the country. Most stuff in the middle of the country is reasonable. I mean, you'll find cities. I'm even okay if you go to small towns, because it's amazing how even in a small town, somebody wants to buy that house. Okay, and maybe you're the answer because you have this methodology. So as long as you're not putting anything at risk, you can get properties under contract and try to sell them and let the seller know, I'm not positive I'm going to be able to find somebody, but you're moving the ball down the field. So, but these cities that are in the center country and other places have pretty affordable $200,000 median price ranges. Some areas are $120,000 median price range. And you guys who live in expensive markets think, oh, if I had to come up with 10 or 20 grand to pay down on a house and, I could get a good cash flow and stuff, that you'd jump at that, but you just can't find it in your local market. So let's expand our thinking. We're doing a special session on virtual investing today with social media. And so if you guys are interested in that at all, call the office. Like I said, virtual investing plus social media, that's the other component. So it's really three components that made virtual investing really possible, feasible, and doable. And it was Zillow, because you can do all the research on any property in the country at a distance. Number two, the pandemic made people more used to doing video chats and getting on video chats and closing deals. And then the third thing is social media. Social media has really blown up. Not just Zillow. Zillow is kind of almost not social media, but it's a website. But social media is like OfferUp, 5 Miles, Instagram, YouTube, especially Facebook. Facebook is number one still, even though they changed some of the way they do things. They're still really the number one source where you can find the most customers. So social media really has changed the world. So those three factors have really made virtual investing feasible and doable for you. And so pick a place, pick an area that the houses are cheap, maybe, if that's what you're kind of interested in. And I'm totally good with that, because I love cheap houses if they're nice and livable. And a lot of times you get some pretty flexible sellers. So, pick another area, use these three new changes in the world that have made this really possible. Zillow, virtual chatting because of the pandemic became popular, and social media has blown up, and there's new services all the time. I remember we did this open house one time, and I looked at the sign-in sheet after, and it always says, "Where did you find us?" And it said next door. Like 5 people wrote next door. And I said, next door, what is there, a party next door? What is everybody just walking over here from next door? And actually it was this new next door social media that I hadn't even heard about yet. But now that's blown up. That's huge, guys. Next door is another one that everybody should be on. You should be on it. Not on just your house, but on your houses, any houses you buy. And you can even get your family and friends' houses if they're not using their next door. So let's use those 3 things. Let's be powerful. Let's think about doing virtual investing if we're not. And maybe you can expand your thinking. And like I said, if you want to move to an area, what better way to get your feet wet and maybe even find a place to live for yourself than exploring that through virtual investing and hitting that area. So it's always great spending time with you guys. Let's do our deep breathing really quick. Okay, deep breath in. Big smile. Always start your day with a smile, or keep your day, always, that's a big one that I don't say enough, and I used to say it all the time. Start your day with a smile. So even before you get out of bed and put your feet on the floor, get a smile on your face. Okay, next deep breath. Hold it in a little bit. Let it out. Okay, relax your shoulders and your neck. That feels good. One more. Real deep. And hold it and let it go. All right. Awesome day, guys. It's Thursday, so we will be joining you for Thursday's live, I believe, a little bit later. Actually, we have a special event later, but I think we will still be joining you guys for Thursday's live this afternoon, so always watch for that. 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. So we will see you there. And then if not, we'll see you tomorrow right back here on Brunch with Brian. So see you soon, guys. Until I see you, keep expecting success, getting awesome training, and taking action.